Okay, we did the first one of these together up here, and so I'm just going to continue to this trend of doing these videos so that we can see if we get this right. So we talked about this graph here being a sine graph. Because it starts down low and it goes up, so low, up, low, and it looks like we're basically completing the graph like this. So that looks weird. Down, so is that right? Is that how that's going to go? That's interesting. Maybe it's a cosine graph. Well, let's work from the basis that it's a sine graph. Okay, let's just see. It could be a negative cosine graph. Could be. Let's just see. So we need to find k. So we need to find the amplitude. And we obviously have like a really small loop here. So obviously we need to find the max and the min points. So I'm just going to make this a little bit bigger so I can see. There's the max point at 5. And the min point is, this is going to be interesting to see if we get this right. But anyway, the min point is here, which is -1. Okay, so we've got those. And let's see. So if we've got max, so we've got the max minus min over 2. Then that's going to be 5 plus 1 over 2, which is 3. So there's k. The amplitude is 3. Amplitude. Okay, now what else do we need? We need b or c. Let's try c. C is the max plus the min divided by 2. So that's going to be 5 minus 1 all over 2, which is 2. 4 over 2. So C is 2. That's where my line of symmetry is. So I could actually just draw my line of symmetry across here because that can be helpful. And that tells me, confirms basically what 1, 2, 3. There's my amplitude there, which is 3. That's cool. That works. So that's my C, which is my line of symmetry. So a line of symmetry. Okay, what else do I need? I need B. Well, remember that we've got to get B, we need to kind of figure out where this graph finishes. So if it's starting at -1 and goes up, it's finishing at -1, which is it finishing at 360? Apparently. It finishes at 360, so there doesn't seem to be a B in this graph. So B is basically 1 if there's no, so B is 1? So it might be interesting. Maybe Sophie was onto something here when she talked about the negative cosine thing. B is 1. Now, if I throw that into my calculator, I'm going to have y is equal to 3 sine of bx plus c. Okay, so y is equal to 3 sine of x plus 2. Now, if I throw that into Desmos, which I'm about to do, which I didn't think I was going to need to do, but obviously we've got a bit of a issue here. So I'm going to go to Desmos, and I'm going to start graphing. And I'm going to go, I need to go from, that one goes from 0 to 360, yeah? So 0 to 360, and steps of whatever, I don't care. So let's just play around with this and see what the graph looks like. So y is equal to sine, it was 3 sine functions, 3 sine of x plus, what was it, plus 2? Somewhere here I can do degrees. Yeah, degrees. That's better. Now, let's see if this graph looks like my other graph. Not sure. Doesn't look like that graph, does it? Okay, well, let's see if I flip this to put a negative out in front. 3 cosine. Oh, tricky. I don't need that bracket there, just so I don't confuse you guys. So let's take a look. Does that look more like it? Indeed it does. So Sophie was onto something when she talked about the negative thing. So in fact, this graph here, which looks like a sine graph, is not. It's a negative cosine graph. So this one is going to be y equals negative 3 cosine of x plus 2. Tricky. Okay, so there's that whole negative thing. And so the only way I could do that is to throw the equation that I had into my graphing calculator, which I don't have on my iPad. So I went to Desmos, and I looked at Desmos and go, well, that doesn't look the same. So we have to problem solve that one out. Now let's take a look at this one. Hopefully this is not a negative graph, because it looks like it's going high, low, high. So we go max, min, max. It looks to be. Looks to be? What does it look to be? What do we say? So when you go to the y, if you go from high to low seems to me a cosine graph. Okay? Now, unless we get something tricky going on, we'll just take a look at what we'll call this a cosine graph. So if it's a cosine, then that means y is equal to k cos of bx plus c. So then we got to go searching for max and min points, which are clearly on here as negative. The max point is negative 2.55, and the min is negative 3.45. And then if we do our max minus our min, we're going to divide it by 2. We have negative 2.55 minus, well, plus 3.45, right? So we'll throw that into our calculator, and what's that going to give us? That's going to give us negative 2.55 plus 3.45 divided by 2.45. That's interesting. Okay, so that looks like that's my amplitude, 0.45. If I go max plus min divided by 2, which is negative 2.55 minus 3.45 divided by 2, negative 3. So this looks like this is k. And if I do C, if I want to figure out where my line of symmetry is, my C is negative 3, because that's max plus min divided by 2. Does that make sense? So if we go down here and we go, well, that looks about right, right? That looks like my line of symmetry right there. Yep, looks like I get an even amplitude on either side of that. That looks to be all right. So now let's see what I've got here. I've got y is equal to 0.45. Going to go with the cos x bx. We haven't done b yet. It's okay, bx minus 3. Now, let's take a look at where this thing completes itself. Because it appears, if it starts here on the y-axis, whoops, draw, starts here. What are you doing? Go away. Stop doing that. Draw. Go away. Starts here. That's, and then goes down, up. That looks like it's a complete right there at 180. Yeah, so that looks to be completing itself at 0.45 cos, and that's going to be 2, isn't it? Because it's going to be, it's basically 360 divided by the 180 where it finishes, which is 2. So y is equal to 0.45 cos of 2x minus 3. There it is. Oh, look, we got it right. We got it right there. Nicely done. Okay, and that will be us for now.